What is up? I am Brie K of TheseAreTheSounds.com. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I got a brand deal. But first, this is the intro. So I just spent like an hour recording this whole video and the mic didn't even pick up. Ridiculous. So you guys know my style. I like to take it all the way back to 1903 because when somebody tells me how they were able to accomplish something or how they were able to do something, I want to know how. I want to know like, okay, but how did you get to that point? And how did you get to that point? I want to know the whole story. So I'm telling you guys the whole story. So this is actually going to go all the way back to about either 2011 or 2012. I was in college. Some of you are doing the math. You're realizing that I'm a lot older than I look. Anyway, I was in college, and if you watched my video of how I got started making beats, I talked a lot about how my dad was very instrumental, no pun intended, in my career as a producer and artist. And one of the things that he did was he actually sent me this mic right here, which is Audio-Technica. I don't know the exact number, I'll put it on the screen. But he introduced me to the brand Audio-Technica because he got me this condenser mic when I was in college, and I literally still use it. So I'm temporarily working out of my boyfriend's studio, so this is not my studio if you haven't noticed, but I still brought the Audio-Technica condenser mic that I've had since 2011 or 2012 with me over here. So that means it's been like 15 years since I've had this mic, which is pretty crazy. He uses the AKG, which is like way more expensive and all of that, but I am so used to using my Audio-Technica with my curling cable, which this is not at all like meant to be like a brand plug, but I am probably going to mention a lot of brands in this video. Curlin, I'm actually an artist that's endorsed with them in their Studio Series cable with this mic. And then obviously I have my vocal chain that I'm used to mixing with. But the combination of all of those things just gives me the sound that I love. So yeah, I still use Audio-Technica, but my dad was the one to introduce me to the brand in like 2011 or 2012. So at that time, the headphones that I often used were Beats Studio, like the original white ones, and I wore those joints till the wheels fell off. And then I think that eventually after several years, like probably around 2014-ish, my parents got me a new pair of Beats Studio headphones, and I wore those ones out as well. None of them were really like, they weren't mixing headphones. No offense to Beats or anything like that, but they were fun for listening, but they weren't for mixing. I've had M Audio BX5A monitors since around like 2009, so I would often mix on those, but I didn't really have a good pair of mixing headphones. And then there was like a little point where I often used the Apple earbuds that came with the phone to track, and this was like around like 2015, 2016. Yeah, it was crazy. But I would mix on my monitors and then I just would use the headphones for tracking and referencing. But eventually I started looking for a pair of headphones that were good for mixing, and I came across Audio-Technica. And obviously I was already familiar with the brand because I had been using their mic for years. So I ended up buying the Audio-Technica M40Xs. I used those like crazy. Used those until the wheels came off, but I still have them. So the wheels didn't fully come off, but they're shedding. And I think I got those around like 2017. When they were shedding a lot, I ended up getting the Audio-Technica M50Xs, which are these ones. And I think I got these ones around maybe 2021 or 2022, something like that. So I've been using them for a few years. So that's how I got introduced to the brand. Now how the brand got introduced to me. So this is the longer part of the story, but stay with me. In 2013, the very beginning of 2013, January, I had come home from college, and one of the first things that I was looking forward to was going to the NAMM show. My dad's best friend is a full-time professional musician. He's toured to countries I've never even heard of. He's been all over the world. He's played for different people, and he has sponsorships and endorsements like nobody's business, just a lot of them, like a ridiculous amount of them, like I think over 50. But he is a really talented guitar player. Now, he is from my dad's generation, which obviously they are older. I am from those of us millennials that are halfway from the digital age, where the internet and social media have been a major part of our lives for the entirety of us being adults. So my dad's best friend gets us into the NAMM show, and if you've ever been, you know, the first time you go, you're just like overwhelmed. It's like, this is crazy. There's so much stuff here. How am I going to see everything? How am I going to try everything? How am I going to hear everything? Because it's so loud. And as a first time goer with no real plan or intent, it could just feel like, what do I do? Now, my dad's friend is used to getting endorsements and deals and all of that stuff. I was not. I didn't even have good music out at the time. Like the music that I had out was really bad. I didn't really understand what exactly I was supposed to do at the NAMM show other than run around it and have a good time. My dad's friend kept telling me to go and visit different booths of the companies whose gear that I use and try to see if they have deals, or try to see if I can get deals. And I just didn't know how to do that. It just didn't make sense to me, especially because I didn't have any music out. I also didn't have like a big online presence either. My dad's friend could walk up to like any guitar brand and start shredding and walk away with a deal, you know, for guitar straps and strings and pedals and everything guitars. I unfortunately was a music producer who made beats in my bedroom. I'm like, how am I supposed to get a deal off of this, you know? But I went and I visited the different brands and I took pictures with some of their products and I posted little poorly edited pictures on Instagram because this was the time when nobody cared about what they posted on Instagram. These are like the workflow days where people are posting pictures of their dirty shoes with no aesthetic to it. Like there was no aesthetic. Everybody was just posting everything. So I did the same. I did tag the brands that I could, but I didn't really expect anything to come of it because I didn't know how to make anything come of it. The next few years are very similar where I go to the NAMM show, you know, I go and visit the booths of the different brands that I know, but I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't really know what I'm trying to do. There's no real intention behind it. 2014 was the year that Kasari and Kasari is my twin / best friend / cousin, and we have a duo together called Breaky and Kasari. 2014 was the first year that Breaky and Kasari dropped music, and I do feel like that gave me a little bit more confidence because I had music out there that I was proud of, that I had produced all of and mixed all of and all that sort of stuff. So 2015 NAMM comes, which is in January because it's in January of every year, and we go to our different brands and, you know, we meet different people, leave with different contacts, but I still don't know what to do with these contacts. I just don't really know what I have to offer, if I have anything to offer. I don't really understand how it works. I'm kind of just spinning my wheels. We're going, but there's not really much coming out of it other than us meeting, you know, different people and stuff like that and connecting with different people. But as far as like brands go and stuff like that, yeah, there was really nothing to show for it. This is year after year after year. And then 2017 comes and I get a new job. And that job was very useful to me for a number of reasons. One of which was that I worked in an office and I was able to listen to other content while I worked. But also that job revolved around content creation, SEO, brand voice, those sort of things for this company. So I had to be learning those different things. So during 2017, I think that I got added to a group with different women creatives and I followed some of them. And one of them, she shared a live by Maddie James. Maddie James had been a full-time influencer for I think like 4 years at that time, something like that. And she would go live every Wednesday and give tips on how to pitch brands, how to create content, how to batch process, which is like making content in batches, meaning you record like 4 videos in one day, or you take photo shoots for like 4 different looks in one day, or like that sort of thing. But I would listen to her lives while I was at work. And one of the things that she constantly reiterated that stood out to me and really resonated for me was to create content as if you were already getting paid to do it, because brands are not going to pay you to do something that you haven't already proven that you can do for free. And that was something I took to heart. So I started trying to do different flat lays using my gear because I wasn't really like a lifestyle creator or that sort of thing, but I mean, I had all this gear, obviously. I wanted to get deals. I wanted to promote the brands that I had and get their attention and that sort of thing. So I would do like flat lays and stuff. And this is actually kind of important later. At that time, Instagram wasn't really like a video app. It was still mostly still images. So flat lays were kind of the way to go. I think Instagram had small clips at the time of videos, but static images were still kind of the thing. So as time went on, I continued creating content. Kasari and I continued releasing music. Obviously, different platforms are rolling out more features and, you know, I'm trying to know how to use the different features and improve my content as I went. In 2019, I started posting more seriously on this channel because I started my company, These Are the Sounds, and I started posting more long form content and I started trying to improve my content. For a while, I did my best to post a video every week or every 2 weeks, and I was relatively consistent for, I think from 2019, 2020, and 2021. Maybe up to 2022, I'm not sure. I don't think I was like 100% consistent, but I was pretty consistent for those years. But in 2019, I started posting content on this channel consistently. At the same time, I was also recording and posting beat breakdowns from mine and Kasari's projects. Like I did some for Overthrown, so that had to be in 2016. So yeah, point of the story, I was making content, you know, over the years and trying out different things, trying beat breakdowns, doing, you know, just doing different things. So 2019, I get serious on this channel. Before 2019 ends, Airbit, which is the platform that I use to sell beats, they end up reaching out to me, telling me that they want me to create content for them and asking if I would be interested. So Kasari and I go down to their office and they pull up my content and they're telling me the different things that they like about it. And that felt really good. It felt like my efforts weren't just being wasted on trying to create good content. At the same time, I had been saving up to buy a Panasonic GH5, which I still use in a lot of my content when I make it. But I had also bought a mic, I had bought a ring light and stand, I had got LEDs. I was trying to to make my studio be more presentable. I really wanted to like put my full effort into my long form content. And if the Lord can trust you with little things, he gives you more. So Airbit reached out to me and I became a content creator with them, and I loved that. I think I created content with them for 2 years. I loved it. I would go to work and I would come home, sit down, sometimes review scripts for different videos and make outlines and things, set up, do my makeup, put on an Airbit shirt, record, sometimes change the shirt, record another video to make it look like I did it on different days, that sort of thing. And it was great. I loved it. I loved making content for Airbit. Airbit, if any of you are watching, thank you guys so much for that opportunity. I loved that opportunity. And yes, they did pay me for it. So as I was making content for Airbit, I was also continuing to make content on this channel and then still trying to make short form content or even just like lifestyle stuff on Instagram, just sharing my life and that sort of thing. But as I would post my music stuff, I would always tag the brands that were in my posts. Because I use M Audio's studio monitors, I would tag them. Obviously I use Pro Tools and Avid, so I would tag Avid. I use a Focusrite, so I would tag them. And then I use my Audio-Tech stuff, so I would constantly tag Audio-Tech. And as time went on, I started making more beat breakdowns. I started trailerizing songs. I love doing like screen capture and like 2 angles or 1 angle or whatever with either the DSLR or my iPhone or both. I love doing that stuff. Like I actually genuinely enjoy creating content. I need to do it more. I know this, but I enjoy doing it. But I always try to make it look as clear and clean and quality as I can. And then I tag the brands just in case they want to repost it or just in case they want to use it and that sort of thing. Most of the brands that I have tagged actually have reached out to me in some form over the years, which is so cool. Some of them have liked my posts or messaged me or asked if they could repost something and that sort of stuff. And I love that. I'm so flattered. I feel like that's such a compliment. That was kind of the goal with creating content, was something that brands could use. So sometime last year, I made a beat breakdown video and Audio-Technica reposted that video to their feed. And that was so cool to me. It performed pretty well. And yeah, I just think it's dope when a brand can like literally take your content and use it as their own because it's really useful to them. It's quality enough. So I felt very flattered by that. Then in the fall of last year, which was 2025, Audio-Technica reached out to me and told me that they were doing a holiday campaign and they wanted to know if I would be interested in creating content for it. I was stoked, you guys, like so excited. They asked for my rates and we clarified some things back and forth, ended up coming to an agreement, signed a contract, and the rest is history. But why I think it's important that I was doing flat lays back in like 2017 and, you know, doing beat breakdowns back in like 2016, 2017 is because those are the 2 main types of content that they asked for from me. Well, not a flat lay specifically, but they asked for a static image and I did a flat lay because I know how to do those. And my mom helped me make it look all festive. And then I got to do a beat breakdown video, which obviously I've done time and time again. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool. That was my first time doing the overhead camera, I think. Well, actually I did an overhead camera a long time ago, but that setup was not it. It kept falling. But anyway. But yeah, that's how I got Audio-Technica to reach out to me with a brand deal. So yeah, it's been like 9-ish years of trying to create content and get the attention of brands, and that makes me very proud. I also got a brand deal with Curlin a couple years ago, and that is awesome. I love that so much because once again, their studio cable, I use it in all of my stuff and it makes a big difference for like sibilance, clarity, all of that stuff. It makes a huge difference. I love it. Thank you, Curlin. For tips, if you are trying to get the attention of music brands, obviously you don't have to do anything how I did it. You don't have to do any of this stuff. Just giving advice obviously based off of how I did it. And my first piece of advice is make quality content. Even though it's been years, I am still constantly trying out new mics, new lighting, new cameras, different angles. Try to make your content as good as you can, but also be yourself and don't lose the authenticity in it, because that is one thing that I never want to do, is for my content to be so quality that you lose me in it, if that makes sense. I never want to come across like fake or like not genuine. That would repulse me and disgust me, honestly. And so I hope that you can still see me, and I hope that the content is still quality. Another piece of advice that I would give is what Maddie said, which is pretend as if these brands are already paying you to make this content. Make it to that level and that caliber. That way you'll make sure that you're making content that is valuable to the brand, because they're not going to take their budget and spend it on somebody who is not useful to them. They want a return, obviously. We all do. But if you want brands to pay you to make content or to endorse you by giving you different products and things, be valuable to them. Give them some sort of return. And my last point, which anytime anybody asks me for advice over like the last few years, I've been saying this, so sorry if this is repetitive, but my last piece of advice is to lean into your unfair advantage. Meaning, if you're really, really good at something, like you're a really talented musician, or you're funny, a really talented vocalist, if you know how to make like excellent film style content, if you speak really well, if you know how to play 14 different instruments, whatever it is that you just happen to be like really good at, lean into that. For me, I know that my strength in music is my ability to do so many different things because I can produce, I can write, I can sing, I can rap, and I can record and mix. And I do all of those things online, and I try to do all of those things online. I know that I'm also a girl. I know that that can be seen as an unfair advantage for me. I'm gonna lean into it regardless, but there are plenty of men that are out there getting deals right and left that are creating content for brands. But please know also, I guess this is like tip 3.0. 3.1, I don't know how you do that. Please know that anybody that you see online that is creating really quality content and that does have brand deals, they were intentional about it. A lot of them do go to different conferences like the NAMM show and like other conferences where there are like brands gathered. A lot of them are very intentional about the type of demographics that they're trying to reach, and a lot of them are also intentional about their brand voice and their brand identity and consistency across all different internet platforms. So please know that most people don't just stumble into a brand deal. It does take effort and intention. So if that is something that you want, please put the effort and intention into it, and it does pay off. And yeah, I think that that's everything. I think that that's how I got the deal, and I think that's all my tips for now. In the comments, please let us know which brands you would love to work with. Audio-Technica was on my dream list, which is why this is so cool to me. Other brands are like Korg, M Audio. The ones that I've been using that have really been holding me down for like a long time, those are like my dream endorsements. But honestly, any brand that makes quality products that wants to endorse your girl, I'm open to it. And yeah, if there's any other videos that you want me to make, anything that's going to help you in your music career, please tell me. Please leave a comment and let me know what kind I can make. I know I'm always asking, but you guys have been like crickets in the last few videos, and it kind of makes me feel, I don't know, kind of shy or something. So please like leave a comment and tell me what type of content you guys would like to see or what would be helpful for you in your music career. All right, if you made it this far into the video, I think it's safe to say that you kind of liked it, so please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. I think that is everything. Okay, peace out. Hopefully the mic worked this time because it didn't last time.